Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting. Welcome to another Tuesday Night Gold Panning Fever, episode number 200. So, didn't think I'd manage to make it to 200 shows, but I did. And we go thank everyone who's also probably made it to 200 shows with me. Ortiz, Wheeze and Geezer TV, and Donna, thank you for being here and being mods. I appreciate it. Imagination to form. Well, good luck tomorrow. Hope you find some gold. Who you panning out for your first bag ever? Shane Prothero, how's it going? And thank you for being here. Tonight's going to be a short show. We're not going to talk very much. We're going to get right to the panning because tonight is a night that I have my son over, so he gets hungry and wants to eat, and he's got school tomorrow. He has to wake up for 5 a.m., so it's an early night for both of us, so I've got to have an early show tonight. Mentally Corrupted, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Aaron Mack, how's it going, brother? God damn it, God, how's it going? Thank you for the support, my man. Appreciate it. Steven Single-Handed Jewelry and More, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Michael Reed, how's it going? Where's the better half? I'm sure she'll pop in a minute. John Gear, it's actually probably been 5 years. I mean, considering that I don't count my Patreon live shows, and I've missed a few shows, so it's probably closer to 5 years than 4. But thank you. I appreciate you for hanging out with me, as I do everyone. KC String, how's it going? Which is funny, too, because they have some people that do, like, night live shows every night panning, like 5 nights a week. So they've already surpassed, like, 200 shows in a year. So, Dorothy, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. KC String, Gold Marine, how's it going? Jeff Bosch, how's it going? TM, how's it going? David Dandaran. Who else? I just likes to skip around a lot once people come in. Fox Rider, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Did you get the Paydirt, the one I owed you, Fox Rider? I meant to message you and I totally forgot. When I was sending out all the Paydirts, I forgot to send out the one that got lost. And then, because I didn't have one made up, so I had to make one special and I kind of forgot to do it. So, but I did catch it up and send it out, so hopefully you have it by now. Chris W, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Brian, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Yeah, you might be able to see it. Yeah, because I'm only going to be here probably like a little bit over an hour. Like 7:15 is about it. So, I was thinking I might move my shows back to Saturday. The whole reason I moved them from Saturday to Tuesdays is because Tuesdays was the one day I never had my son with our rotating schedule. But now that we've changed to a new schedule, I have my son every other Tuesday. So, what's up, John R. Prospecting? How are you, brother? I'm doing good. I'm doing good tonight. Also, Refotris, how's it going? And anyone, if I miss you, I apologize. Chris W, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. There's Kristen Reed. How are you tonight? Stephen Curry. And I apologize if somebody says something in chat. I miss it. It gets pretty busy early in the morning. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you, everyone, for who supports the channel, whether it's just watching these live shows, watching my videos, or on Patreon. So I appreciate that. So, but yeah, tonight we're going to be panning out a 3-pound. I don't know why I scheduled 3 pounds on a short day, but we're going to be going through another 1 gram bag from Brad's Bucket. 1 gram, 3 pounds. Now, this bag, again, I'm guaranteed a 95.87% ROI on this one. So this is a 95% ROI, same as the last one that was guaranteed. But if you bought one today, even though he's out of stock now. If you bought one today, the ROI would be 89.36%. So still a great ROI. 89.36 would still be in my top 10. And I have not put him on my top 10 yet because I don't know how to. Honestly, I really like him. And I like this Paydirt. But that means I have to remove somebody, and I don't know who to remove. So I might actually adjust it and make my top 12. I don't know. So, yeah, and he has Richard Dow. He's doing good. He's doing good, thankfully. Yes, it did start. You have to refresh. Yes. Mine did that too. I was looking at mine just in my hub, and I was like, oh, wow. I'm like 15 minutes back because it was like right when I sat down and started adjusting stuff and was messing with my phone, turning it off and stuff like that. And then I realized it had paused like 14 minutes earlier. So I was like, oh. Buy the gold and get the dirt for free. That's it. No, it's not the Witch's Brew. I'm saving the Witch's Brew for another video coming eventually. This year, I will have the Witch's Brew this year. I need to get with secret shoppers and figure out. It's going to be a battle, so. Alex Urias, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Brad Thompson, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. How was the Whatnot show last night? I really wanted to stick around, but like I said, when I have my son over, I usually stay up till like midnight. I'm one of those people that stay up late and wake up late. But when my son's here, the week when my son's here, I have to do the exact opposite. I have to go to bed by like 9:30 o'clock. So I can't really stay up and play around on my computer, or I stop, forget to do dishes and things like that. Oh my God, I had it paused. Yeah, I do that all the time on my live show. And it's weird because I think YouTube automatically does it sometimes. Like if you leave the page, sometimes it'll just automatically, it's not always, but it does it sometimes. So it was weird, but it was a funny show, man. You're a funny guy. I like that. Funny guy. I enjoyed it. I've gotten some nice looking gold nugget sales right now. Yeah, it's gold nugget sales has got some really good. There's a whole, if there was only some website where you could go and look at the top 10 of, they all have great Paydirt. So, Donna, thank you very much, Donna. You're way too kind to me always. I really hope you're doing better. Stephen Curry, I won 2 bags from here and I need to buy a pan. Yeah, get a pan. Amazon. Go to millerprospecting.com. I have a link there to the pan I use, the 4-stage. Oh, for which one? For this? Let me see. I don't have my thing open. I can't see if I'm blocking or not blocking it. Oh, you want this way? Well, here, hold on. Let me do this too. I don't know if this is going to mess it all up, but no, yeah, there you go. I know I was looking for a spot to put it earlier. I was like, oh, where can I put it? Because I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I've got a lot more Paydirts here up here. So, and how's it going, Whiskey Lover? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. S-Strip63, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. So yeah, I got some new Paydirts up here. Okay, that was enough time for a screenshot. Perplexed Mind, how's it going? I'll move in a minute. But I got some new Paydirts up here. This is the Wrenches Repairs. This is Wrenches Repairs Paydirt. His bag came to me and it was busted. So I found an old oil bottle. This is an old oil bottle. So I stuck it in here. Got it in there. Yeah. Got that one's new. What else did we get in? Then we also got in the Serotonin Paydirt. Serotonin Flowers Gold Nugget Sales. Whiskey Lover sent me that. That was so awesome. Thank you very much for that. And then I also have my newest Paydirt. Can't really see the label, can you? It says The Pit on it. So this is mine. It's called The Pit. Eventually you'll see where I got this bottle from. I'm sure you can guess where I got the bottle from, but... And then I also have the Vendetta tube. I thought that was cool, so I had to get the Vendetta tube. I'll probably pan that out one day, though. Can't get the Force unless I want to get it off of Timo. You can't get it up there, Steven? I have to see. Let me see. Steven, let me write that down. I'll have to look at that. Because I know the seller, so I'll have to see. Imagine, I like the Fire and Ice one. Yeah. Troubled ones. Yeah, that's a good one. So I haven't actually panned that one. I think I panned out one of his other ones. I didn't do that one, though. But I like Troubled ones. Good guy. So. But all right, we're gonna start panning because, like I said, I have to do a faster show tonight. I picked the 3-pound bag, and then probably next week when I don't have my son, I probably have like a little 2-ounce bag to pan out scheduled. But just because I had the review, I wanted to do the Paydirt. So, Aaron Mack, thank you very much, Aaron Mack. I really appreciate that. So Donna, thank you as well. Thank you both very much. But all right, since y'all have paid me, I will get rid of my ugly mug. Let me shrink down my ugly mug. Make sure. Let me get the window there. We got the panning cam. There we go. So yeah, let's do some panning. There we go. And Whiskey, if you didn't get a picture, just let me know when we come back. I'll turn it on, the camera on, without me at all on there. So, all right. Gregory Littleton, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. So yeah, give me a minute to move stuff around. Get my coffee and all the good stuff. And we're using the dirty water. So it's slightly dirty from the review. So I figured if I'm going to contaminate my water, might as well be contaminated from the same cellar. Throw on some gloves. Oh, I forgot to set up my tablet. I always forget to turn my tablet on for live shows. And tablets, for whatever reason, are always so slow. And since I only use this tablet down here, the battery always dies every single week. So I always have to charge it, and then I kind of forget about it. Oh, wow, I popped right up. YouTube must be liking me today. They're celebrating show number 200. They're like, yeah, we'll let him be first on YouTube on his own channel. So, all right. Good to hear, Whiskey. Michael Reed, thank you very much. Way too kind. Everyone's been too nice tonight. Well, I'll find out if I can order one for you maybe and have it shipped to Canada and see if they'll do it that way. I'll look at it tonight, because everyone should have a 4-stage pan, the best pans they make. You don't use a 4-stage, you're not panning. Even though I only use one of the stages, but well, I use 2. Technically I use 2 because when I dump it out I use this side. So it's just the most comfortable pan I've ever come across, so let's say that. Oh, where's my scissors? This bag was taped up. There we go. Michael Reed, thank you again. Donna, thank you. Aaron, thank you. Everyone, thank you very much. Brian, thank you very much. I thought I saw that pop up, and my tablet's kind of blocked right now. Thank you. Thank you and all my Patreon members. Y'all are the real champions. Without the people that support this channel, I wouldn't be able to do the reviews, you know. All right. Here's the material. I'm going to classify it down. You saw the review, you saw. So, it was pretty easy Paydirt in the review, so this should be easy. I should easily be able to do this in an hour. I'm hoping, at least. We'll speed through it. Oh, where's my other glove? Gotta have matching gloves. Don't want to look like Michael Jackson. I'm a little too dark of a complexion, too, so, you know. Why is gold so pretty? There's a reason that's why it's been hoarded ever since people first found it. It's because it's so pretty. Made in the stars, man. Made inside of stars, that's why. Thank you very much, Aaron. Well, I'm sorry you had the heart attack part, but, you know, thank you for watching them. You know. And also, don't forget, I'm sure one of my mods will do it in a second. I have a couple of them if they want to drop the hidden link. Make sure you go post a comment in the hidden link. We're going to be doing the envelopes tonight. If we have time, we'll do 2 envelopes tonight because I'm down to 4, and I want to switch prizes up. So we'll do 2 tonight if we have time for the mystery envelopes. Yeah, I think we've found 1%. I think it's something like 1% of the gold we've found. So yeah, we barely touched because most of it's too far underground. We've got to wait for the gold to come up for us to even have a chance at getting it. So most of it's still way too deep, you know. And we're so busy trying to get to Mars and do other weird stuff. We don't even know what's at the bottom of the oceans, and we can't drill deep enough, you know. There you go. No worries, imagination. Appreciate it. Just humming and hanging out even for a little while. Oh, there's a specimen rock I had on the side, and I just dropped it on the floor. Not from this bag, though. So, and thank you very much, Weezen. Appreciate that. And again, make sure everyone goes and leaves a comment on the hidden video. We've got 4 mystery envelopes left. Jeffrey Button, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. So anyone that's a Patreon member, I wanted to talk more tonight about I made for my daily ROI chart today, I made a comment about how some sellers, you have to be careful because they change up their prices and stuff like that. And I wasn't trying to single out any seller. I actually had one seller reach out to me about that, but you know, I wasn't trying to point out any one seller doing it in particular. But I have noticed there are some sellers that, you know, you really have to watch sellers. One of the famous ones that first did it was Lynch Mining. You know, it was just, they started out at a certain price and they got popular and they raised their price a little bit. Then they changed their shipping price a little bit. And you get complacent with some sellers and you think, you know, and one of the ways that a lot of sellers trick you is with shipping. And, you know, I know a lot of people that do Paydirt reviews. I'm not so big on it, but I do say it some. Is that a lot of them will tell you never to buy a bag of Paydirt that doesn't have a guaranteed set amount of gold. And that, I do think that is good, but there is an exception. You know, you have sellers like Pay Streak Prospecting that don't have a guaranteed set amount of gold. But for the vast majority of times, yes, you should only buy Paydirt that has a guaranteed set amount of gold. And my other point to that would be only buy from sellers who have no shipping, that are free shipping. Now, there are exceptions to that. There are some great sellers that do charge shipping, Gold Bay, and stuff like that. But if you look at it, the reason that a lot of sellers add shipping on there is because then they can fudge that price a little bit, and you'll just assume it's the postal rate went up. Or they're just trying to add extra money to the Paydirt without you thinking about it. Because they do know a lot of people don't consider shipping in their ROI. You know, like, for example, Clash Paydirt. If you buy his little bag of Paydirt, it's 1 ounce. He ships it in a small envelope. It costs him $4, but he's charging you $10 for shipping. But a lot of people are going to buy those bags and say, oh, they're only $15. But they're not. They're $21 because there's $6 of shipping extra, you know. But one of the sellers that's in my, they're not in my top 10, but they are on my daily ROI chart. They originally had free shipping, and then they went to $5.99 shipping, and then they went to $6.99 shipping. And every one of their bags, even though all their bags have the same amount of material in them, all of their bags have different shipping prices. Some are $5.99, some are $6.99, some are $7.99, some are $7.49. So if you don't pay attention, that's how they get you. You'll think, because that particular seller, which I'm not going to mention, is they are on my daily ROI chart, but some Oh, there we go. Mic went out. Sorry about that. I don't know why it went out, but all right. All right, sound's back, right? We'll wait until sound's back before I start talking. All right, the sound's back. All right. Yeah, the I don't know how the button's on the top. The mute button's on the top, so I don't know how I hit that. Usually, that must have been. Usually, I'd feel it. But mentally corrupted. So no, not I wouldn't say every bag, but the problem is with big sellers. You know, like if you're obviously not a big seller, you're not selling on a website or something like that. Is I know people get complacent. Like if you looked every single day at say, I'm gonna just say Lynch Mining since they're closed and they won't get upset if I talk about them or I say anything negative about them. So let's say Lynch Mining. If you see there and you go to their website and every day for a month, you see that their 1 gram bag is $100 every single day. And let's say you buy a bag every 3 days. You're not going to notice that if they change their shipping on day 18 from $7.99 to $8.49. You're just not going to notice. You're just going to be clicking away, getting so used to it. And then when you do notice, you'll be like, oh man, I've been paying 50 cents extra. You're going to think, oh man, Post will probably raise their rates. No, they're just figured, hey, look, I can add an extra 50 cents on there and get some more money out of my customers and lower the ROI. And then they raise it up to, $8.99. So, it's a tough one. I personally think that if you're going to charge shipping, why not just give free shipping? There's really no reason unless you're using software that calculates the exact rate. And I do know that there are a few sellers that actually have weight programs. Like if your Paydirt's different weights and stuff like that, it'll charge different amounts. But if you're going to charge somebody $12 if they live in New York, or $12 if they live in Florida, $12 if they live in California, just do free shipping. That's me personally. I don't sell Paydirt, so nobody obviously has to listen to me. But yeah, my audio went out for a minute. I don't mind paying for shipping if it's the exact same. I ship a lot. No. Yeah. Well, I don't mind sometimes. I understand sometimes you have other things. You have like the packaging and stuff like that. So I don't mind if it's a little over. And plus, shipping does fluctuate. Like I ship every single month to my Patreon members. And I know my shipping for my Patreon members varies from $5 up to $6. So there's about $1 difference. So if I was selling Paydirt and I would sell it for I would add $6 for shipping. That's what I would calculate in my head is $6 for shipping. And when I do up my sheets every single month for my budget for the month, I calculate in $6. Actually, I do $5 because I haven't adjusted it yet. But, if the average price was $5 to $6, you say, okay, my shipping's going to be $6. But what happens, though, is, like I said, sellers will up it up a little bit, move it around, change it, even though they're all the same price. Like if you have a 1 gram bag, a half gram bag, and a 1/4 gram bag, every one of them is £1. Why would they have different shipping rates? And they do. You'll see a lot of sellers will put different shipping rates on them, even though they're the same weight, same bag. They're just trying to make a little bit more money. Dib Deverson, how's it going, brother? Oh, I sell is on. Yeah, I sell on eBay and it's only free shipping. I understand like if you're selling a lot of products, I know one of the reasons that people like, especially for eBay, is if you're selling like say 100 different products on eBay and you want to charge for shipping and you do combined shipping. So sometimes, it's worth it for then you're going to be putting two things in the same box and your rate's not going to go up any, but so, like I said, there are some, Gold Bay, what do they charge? Like $12.95 shipping. That's a fair rate. And for the longest time, like, Gold Bay for the longest time charged $3.99 shipping. That's what he charged was $3.99 shipping, even though it cost him like $10 to ship. He's always shipped priority mail. And it wasn't until he had the guy in Nevada take over that they raised their rates, And like I said, it's an exception. Gold Nugget Sales has shipping, but it's just something to watch out for. There's just lots of ways for Paydirt sellers to try to sneak one by their customers, you know, there's a few ways it's, bad sellers. And that's what we always want to look out for. You always want to try and avoid the bad sellers. And there's a couple ways that they try to con you. They either try to con you by not telling you how much gold you're going to get, and that's a con. They try to con you by convincing you that you could win an ounce of gold or, some huge amount of gold. Or they do the shipping, and that's where they'll get you, is they'll trick you into paying extra for shipping, or they'll, hope that some reviewer won't count the shipping in there and give them a really good ROI. Then when you get it, you're kind of like, hey, but I spent $150. I only got a gram. How's that 100% ROI, Card number 5 was it? Well, now you got 2 of them, brother. For when you eventually lose one of them. No. Hard to know what the shipping is till it's checkout time. Well, it depends. If you're selling something, like I said, if you're selling tons of products like on eBay, if you're selling a refrigerator door and then a comic book, obviously you're going to have different shipping rates for each. But if somebody bought, the refrigerator was paying $50 shipping, and then they bought the book, you're going to say, oh yeah, I'll throw that in for free, and you can do combined shipping. But if you're selling Paydirt, if every one of your bags, is 3 pounds, then your shipping is $12.95. That's just the way it is, Oh, Brian, yours was a dime too. I wonder if anyone got. I know there was 2, maybe 3 pieces gold ones in there, and the gold ones are even rare because I only got 2 left, and I'm not going to be making any more probably. You don't have a dime, Aaron? Message me on Patreon. I'll send you one. I know I need to send some of my longer Patreon members, like in my $25 tier, some dimes. I still have to make more up. I've got a whole bunch of them, Gregory. I've got more than you. Rich, what's up? Dib, if you email me your address, I'll send you the new one on the card. Let me see if I can find. I know I have one around here somewhere. What did I do with it? Yeah. If you send me, I'll send you one of these, Dim. Can you see this? I can't tell because I'm lagging out. But one like that. Oh, why is my thing so slow? Why is it so far back? Yeah, all right. Yeah. One like that. I'll send you one of those, Dib. Just send me your address because I can just throw that in an envelope. Doesn't really cost me anything. Costs me, just a dime. Package total. How's it going? Can you put a hole in the dime and put it on chain? You can do whatever you want. One of my prizes in my wheel of prizes for my Patreon members, there is a gold-plated dime in one of those where it's a necklace one, but it doesn't have a hole punched in it. It's actually got it's got like a little hummingbird wrapped around it that's holding it in place. Jerry Button, I don't consider purity because it doesn't matter. I am Zaxxon. How's it going? Yeah, for real, Dib. Just email me your address, man. I got your pan up there, man. I'm gonna have that wooden pan for forever. At least I can do is send you I still have all that Christmas dirt too. One of these Christmases, brother. I swear I'm gonna go through them on one of these Christmases. Might not get to record it, but I'm gonna go through them. Yeah. Or email me, Dylan. Just email me, Aaron. Dylan at Miller Prospect. And just type in email in the chat, and it'll show you my email. That's awesome, package total. So, but back to the ROI with the plaster gold. If you go, to any website that sells plaster gold, like nuggets or just by the gram or something like that, they don't tell you what carat it is. Now they might if they want to upsell you and tell you it's super high carat. But most of the time, like if you buy for example, if you went to a website and they had 5 grams of just gold in a vial, you're paying spot price. And if you sell them gold, they're going to list it at spot price minus their cut, minus their cut. So the only time gold purity matters is if you melt it down and put it in a bar. That's it. So no, that sucks. Yeah, if it's coming from Amazon, they're always slow. So oh wow, 0% ROI. I've gotten some of those before. Not intentionally either. And they didn't give me my money back either. They kept all my money. I'm so scared I'm going to click that mute button again. I need to move my microphone. I got it too close to me, that's why. Tomcat Josh, how's it going? I don't know if I said hi to you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I saw you earlier. I thought I said hi, but I probably didn't. But yeah, it's the same way, like if you go to Whatnot or you go to any of the websites that sell gold nuggets, they don't tell you the carat, because it doesn't really matter. Unless they're trying to upsell you, which I always think is funny. Like if you listen to any Paydirt seller or any gold seller that sells, nuggets and placer gold, they will tell you that carat doesn't matter. But then when they get some Australian or Mexican 23 karat gold, they're going to tell you it's more expensive because it's 23 karat. But, you always got to upsell something, If the gold's flat, it's jewelry grade. If it's a little stringy, it's string, There's salesmen. Panning dirt with no gold. This dirt has gold, but I can't tell you the number of times I've panned out dirt with no gold. Sadly, way too many times, and sadly, way too much dirt. I will tell you, the vast majority of times that I've gotten probably ripped off, like from sellers that were like eBay would probably be the majority of it. It was big bags of Paydirt, or people who have sent me dirt. If they send me a little bit, like if somebody sent me a little bitty pan of dirt like this and said, "Oh man, I got some dirt for you just to pan out," and I'll pan it out, there'll be some gold in it. But if somebody tells me, "Oh man, I got like 5 pounds for you," there's never any gold in it. Never. A good buddy of mine went high banking and he didn't want to do the clean out. So he told me, he's like, "Look, I'm just going to send you all the dirt. You pan it out. Tell me how much gold I found." I think he sent me, it was a 5-gallon bucket that was almost full. So it was like 4 gallons of dirt that he sent me. It cost him, I think, $110 to ship me the bucket. 1 piece of gold. And it wasn't even gold. It was just a piece of mercury that we think had gold in it. But no, brother. I'm sorry to hear that, Aaron. At least it's not going anywhere. 732, not even know. Oh man, that sucks. That's the best dirt though, Aaron. You know that. You have a great one, Rich. You need to bring some rain. All my bushes are dying, man. You need to come visit. Come down to the southern Indiana area. Bring some rain with you. It's best to get ripped off by someone you know. I'm always here if you need me. You're always trying to help out everyone in the community, brother. I like that about you, man. You're always willing to take all the money and the gold from everybody just so, they can't complain about, "I got too much gold." What about Paydirt that stinks? What's funny is you don't see it as often as you used to. When I first started my YouTube channel and I first started panning, it was probably 25% of all the dirt I panned out stunk. Whether it was just like that rotten dirt smell, which sometimes is a good thing. A lot of times if you get rotten smelling dirt, that means it's just old area with old growth. So it usually means it's untouched area. But man, one's from diesel in it, just to like perfume, all kinds of weird stuff. But nowadays, most sellers, I think, kind of, all know where a good spot to get dirt from, so they don't have to just, go to behind the auto shop and grab some oily dirt. Mm. That's awesome, Brian. Yeah, they do. Like I said, there's exceptions to everything. There's some good eBay sellers, Micro 15, Anderson Coin Shop, so. They were really good when they first started, but they're kind of going in the opposite direction. Hopefully they, stay decent. They're decent right now, and hopefully they stay that way. But and that's one of the problems though, is the vast majority of eBay, you're probably, if you have 100 sellers on eBay, there's probably 3 that are good. Maybe 4 out of the 100 that are on there. Where with websites, if you go to the websites, there's probably, 100 Paydirt sellers that are online that have stores, and probably, a good 60% of them or 50% of them are good. So the odds are you getting a good Paydirt from a store with an online thing is much better than eBay. eBay's just, and one of the problems with eBay too is it doesn't cost you anything to make a second account. So they have a lot, Golden Paydirt has what, like 8 or 9 different YouTube channel, not YouTube, eBay accounts, And then another thing with eBay is you'll get the people that resell other Paydirts. Like I saw somebody on there, and this was a while back. This was before Clash. Clash does sell his own Paydirt on eBay now, or he was for a while. But before he did, other people were selling his Paydirt on eBay for even higher prices. So, but they just knew the name. So they would go and say, oh yeah, I got, Clash's 1 gram bag is $185. And, they would sell 1 bag and they just order it right off of Clash, Charles, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate that. I appreciate everyone that's here tonight. I really do, for my 200th show. Now I'm really curious to see how many shows when my first show was. I'm gonna have to look up to see when show number 1 was to see how long I've been doing these live shows, because it's got to be really close to 5 years, if not 5 years. Yeah, even unless you know who you're buying from on eBay, or what to look for, and even then, it's still a crapshoot. I mean, because there's sellers on there. There was one seller who was selling a bag of Paydirt, and I really wanted to buy one, but it was expensive. It was like $100 for a bag of Paydirt. And it was only like 2 ounces, but he was like, oh, this is like refined black sands that if you process correctly, you'll get over 1. And I didn't, or no, he said you would get over like 1.5, but he didn't say 1.5 grams. He just said 1.5 at the end of the sentence. So I messaged him. I was like, what do you get 1.5 of? I'm like, do you get 1.5 of black sands? Because I think that's what he was doing. Because it was a 2 ounce bag, and I think he was going to say if you get rid of the blondes, you'd get 1.5 gram or 1.5 ounces of black sands with no guarantee of gold. And I mean, this dude walked around it, did not tell me. He kept saying, "Oh, you'll get 1.5," and I was like, "1.5 what?" And he's like, "You got to know how to pan though. If you know how to pan, you'll get it." I was like, "1.5 of what, brother? Is it 1.5 grams? Is it 1.5 ounces of black sands?" So you got to watch them. They have the dudes that'll, they have gold that'll look like a good deal. You'll say, "Oh wow, guaranteed 10 pieces of gold," but they're microscopic gold, so. I bought 2 different Paydirts from the shop app. Yeah, the shop app is bad too. I looked at that, which really sucks because I buy stuff. Most of the stuff I buy goes through is the shop app, so I get like the bonus points, and they're like, "Oh, you've got 250 bonus points." And I'm like, "Woohoo!" And you look up Paydirt, and it's all like the absolute worst sellers. It's like, well, I might as well just throw the money away. I don't want to give it to them because then they're just gonna rip somebody off. I only buy car parts on eBay. Yeah, that's it. If it's something weird, like it's something, like I need a new handle for my refrigerator. I needed a trim piece for my car the other day. It's eBay. That's it. You got to get eBay's for all the weird stuff that somebody's disassembling, Like I still have my old washing machine in my basement because I'm going to strip it down and just sell the parts on eBay because I'll make more money than that than throwing it away, or paying somebody $50 to take it. Episode 200, but it's 400 hours of content. It's probably more than that. 200, you got to figure each show lasted about 2 hours. Because they average about 2 hours. So, yeah, it's about 400 hours. And Sean McLeland, how's it going? Get Clash to autograph a bag of Paydirt. Yeah. Yeah. I keep waiting. I keep thinking, he's gonna, one of these days he's gonna do something where he's gonna have a decent bag of Paydirt, like he did for a while. So gold dropped. I think when gold dropped down to like 102, like 2 months ago or something, he dropped his Paydirt down like to $125. He had like a $20 discount or something like that. And I was even like, oh man, that's a good deal, because I'm just so used to seeing his Paydirt at 145 plus $10 shipping. And I put it in my daily ROI chart, and it was still 69%. I was like, he doesn't even make 70%. I'm like, that's just crazy. With a $20 discount, you still don't even get a 70% ROI. No. 1.2 pence light fee. Thank you very much, Weez, and I keep forgetting. Yeah, make sure you pop in the hidden link that Nightbot just posted. Make sure you drop in there, leave a comment so you can get a chance to win one of the hidden envelopes tonight. Might try to do 2 if I can hurry up tonight. So obviously this show is going to run longer than I thought. I was thinking I was going to be done at like 7:15, but I don't see that happening. Panning too slow as usual. One bag I've paid off. Oh, is that from for $26? That sounds like it's probably what's his name? I'm sure that somebody's here. It's the all the fine gold. But there is one seller on there that has low. He sells small bags for like 25, $26 or something like that. But it's all flour gold. It's all like really super hard to get out. But usually you can get pretty good ROIs on it. So rumor on the street is gold is a jump, if you catch my drift. Hey, Fox. Yeah, I did see that about his new claim. I know he's been working on getting his claim. I saw he staked out a claim, and it's kind of funny. He staked out the claim like 2 months ago, not even 2 months ago. And then he was just like, then I saw he was like, okay, everyone come join me and come hang out on my claim and get gold. But I was like, dude hasn't even had time to look around to see if there's any gold on it. And even though he's in Colorado, I mean, you can get a claim in Colorado that has 0 gold on it and stuff like that. But I was even like, man, maybe I'll go up there and go hang out in his claim. But it's got nothing. Like no toilets, no water, nothing. I'm like, dude, you're going to die out there. No shade. I'm like, if you're not bringing a fully set up RV out there, you're not going to have fun out there, And then you could, from the description he said of the place, you couldn't even bring an RV out there because the road is like, you need a 4-wheeler to get over there on the road. So I don't know. I mean, it is nice that he's doing that and he's not charging anyone to come out there. He is just asking for donations if you want to give him donations. So I'm sure people that are going to go out there are going to give him donations. But I think I actually see it as a good thing. Maybe more people will go there and start complaining that he needs to lower his price. And toilets are important, yeah, because that's what I thought. I was like, I could go out there in my car and just sleep in my car with it running, for the AC and stuff like that. But then when you got to go poop, you don't want everyone out. If 40 people show up and they're all just pooping in holes. Yep. Yeah. You can't keep whacking it. If you keep whacking that thumbs up button, it unthumbs it. It drives me crazy about YouTube and half these things where if you hit like, then you hit it again, it unlikes it. It's like, what the junk? Don't let them take it back. All right, Alex, thank you for popping in. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I do, Deb. I know who you are. But yeah, if you send me your address, I'll get that out to you tomorrow probably. So that's it, Brad. I was like, I was like, if I went out there and somebody else had an RV, you just got to wait till they go out there in the dredge. Oh, look, they're on the dredge. Yeah, let me just go use their toilet in their RV. They'll be coming back after a hard day of dredging, like, oh my God, what happened to all our toilet paper? It's gone. How can the black tank already be full? Because everyone's been using their RV the whole time. And I'm outside their door charging $1 to use it, Yeah, but I mean, I think that's awesome that he's doing that. Because at first, when I first saw his post that he was, people could come out to his claim, I was like, oh no, is he going to be like one of those, $20 to come into my claim and not do anything? But I think that's pretty nice, especially since in Colorado's got some rough reclamation rules. So I'm really curious how he's going to get around that, because you have to, in Colorado, they have some of the strictest rules where you have to tell them what you're going to do beforehand, how you're going to reclaim it afterwards. So I'll be curious if he's just not telling them. He just staked out the claim and he's not telling them, look, we're going to be, 40 people are going to be here dredging. January 6th, 2020. So yeah, it's been over 5 years. And thank you very much for that, KC. That saves me from having to look it up. Because I would have totally forgot as soon as the show was over, and I'd remember like next Wednesday after we talked about it again. So yeah, I mean, I figured it was over 4 years just because, a lot of these Tuesdays are Patreon shows, and I've missed quite a few shows, so I'm pretty sure it is panning only. Oh no. Well, yeah, I wouldn't do that then. I'm not going out to the sticks, jacking up my struts and my shocks, tearing off my plate underneath my, my transmission plate on my car to just pan. If I want to just pan, I'm going to go up to Michigan, I'll get a lot more gold out of there too. I'm going to get some beach sands. I'm getting too old and out of shape. I've never been in shape to sleep on the ground, ever. Even when I was my healthiest, I wasn't in shape to sleep on the ground. And a sleeping bag with 3 or 4 pads underneath it, and then a blow-up thing underneath that. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go read it. And I do know it's on, like, if you go to, what is it, clash.com/events. I think that's what it's under. I'll have to go look later and reread it and see what it is. But like, again, I think that's, as much as I don't like his Paydirt, I think doing stuff like that for your community is great. It'll make up a little bit, take away a little bit of sting if you buy some of his Paydirt and you're like, man, I just got ripped off on that. Let me go to his claim and get some of my gold back. No, go out pan only if it'll be on the road. I've always thought to myself, if I had a claim in a place that said, no dredging or no this or that, I'd do it anyway. Because they only will take your gold when they catch you. I wouldn't care. The odds of them catching you the first day are pretty slim. So they're going to catch you when you're strutting around town with a giant gold chain with a giant nugget underneath it. Like, what? Why are y'all coming out to my claim now? Yeah. Yeah, no gold in Louisiana. Yeah, that's where I'm from. That's why I started panning in the first place, because I was in Louisiana when I started seeing, came up with the idea to start panning for gold. I was in, Slidell at the time. And there was no gold there, so. Mm. But, yeah. I still need to get the only person the event I want to go to really is, Jason, Flower Gold Wizard. So next year, hopefully I'll be up there. And if not next year, then definitely the year after that. Because like I said, after next year, my son will have graduated. And then he won't have to see me under a certain, timeline on certain days and this and that. Why is my... Tablet just conked out. There we go. Come on. So, you know. Hey, Cheddar, how's it going? Annie Stevens, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate you both being here. I like Clash's channel. You know, I will say I used to like Clash's channel. I liked his channel a lot better before he started selling Paydirt. I will say that, I thought he was very, the thing I like about his channel, and I'll say this, he is very informative. He's got the teacher mentality. I can't do that. I know when I first started my channel, I watched a couple of videos on like what you're supposed to do for YouTube videos, like if you're doing the same thing over and over, and where you're supposed to repeat a lot of stuff, like now I swirl the water slowly over the pay dirt to try to remove the blondes and black sands, leaving the gold at the top. And you're supposed to say stuff like that. And then you're supposed to say it every single video. And I know that. I just don't like doing it, so I don't do it. I figure there's enough videos out there telling people how to pan that they don't need me telling you to. And, But I used to like his show before. I actually used to comment. I used to go join his silver searching. When he used to do his silver searching, I used to join all his shows on his live shows. But once he started Paydirt, selling Paydirt, I just, it's a little hard to believe someone's giving an honest review if they're also promoting their product at the same time. So it's just, So I liked his stuff before, Wesley, how's it going? Oh, how they doing with soccer? I remember when I was a kid, my mom, I guess somebody started a soccer team, and they had this coach that was from used to play on some national team that was supposed to be super good. And they just got a whole bunch of kids from the neighborhood, and they're like, oh, y'all are going to be on a soccer team. And then we were going to go against kids that have been playing for like years and years, and we just got devastated. Clash said he's the best Paydirt reviewer on YouTube. Yeah. He also says if you go to his website, he also says this is the best rated Paydirt too on the internet. He says his best Paydirt is the best Paydirt on the internet. So, he's definitely probably the most popular Paydirt reviewer. So I guess that equates to the best. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know it depends on what you claim is the best, I guess, Just okay. I liked his reviews. Yeah, like I said, I used to like his reviews. It's just, to me, it's really hard. Like if you look at it, so before he started selling Paydirt, he predominantly did every seller. Like there was every seller that was out there. But once he started selling his Paydirt, or it was like a little before that, I guess when he realized, I think it was after he did the $10,000 bucket is when he decided he was going to sell Paydirt, and that's what he was buying the gold to set up for the Paydirt. After that, every bag he reviews is just a bad bag. He does not review good sellers. He just doesn't do it. The only good seller he has reviewed, I think, since he started selling was the Foothills Prospectors bag. That was a friend of his that wasn't even selling Paydirt. And then when they did start selling Paydirt, it was like a quarter of what he got, because he got 100% ROI. Then I did the bag as soon as they started selling, and I think I got like a 50% ROI. That's the only good bag. So what he does, he just does really crappy bags. So if you only do a 30% ROI, and then you sell Paydirt with a 60% ROI, everyone's going to think it's a good Paydirt. They're going to be like, oh my God, that Paydirt's so good. It's twice as good as the one Clash just reviewed. But it's not good. It's just better. Yeah, there's at least 50. There's just, like I said, it's just, I try not to knock other channels because, there's channels out there that consider, shipping as part of it doesn't count towards the ROI. And, they're wrong, but I don't want to tell them what they're doing is wrong because, I might not be the most personable person on camera. And, I know a lot of people that watch my channel say, man, I could do better than Dylan does. And they probably could. There's a lot more. Like my buddy Martin that started Golden Paydirt Reviews. I thought he was way more entertaining than me doing his Paydirt reviews. Unfortunately, like, a lot of people, he also fudged a few of his reviews and, contacted the sellers beforehand so they would load the bags for him and things like that. But he was definitely, a better more entertaining reviewer than me. So, it depends on what you consider the best. Like, is entertainment the best? Is honesty the best? Is just quantity the best? Is having the most views the best? So, anyone can say they're the best if they, create the formula. So, oh my God, D3 prospecting, how's it going? I have to say that I remember when Dan Hurd first put out his Paydirt. I was really, really upset about that because I used to follow Dan Hurd and he did his Christmas bag and I did a review on it. And what really upset me the most about his Paydirt was not that it was a bad Paydirt, which I was really upset about because I really thought that sucked that he did such a bad bag of Paydirt because it was like 25% ROI, if even that. I don't even remember what it was, but it really stunk. And it was expensive too. It wasn't like, this is a $25 bag of Paydirt, but, his Paydirt still sucked. All his Paydirt sucked. And he came out and he replied to every single comment that was left there. Oh, maybe I should just stop making videos. Maybe I should just quit doing everything. And he was like really, really just like, just whiny about it. And it's like, dude, we're not like telling you, you had to give us 100% ROI or this or that. It's just like a decent ROI for something that's, for Christmas. And he was very, like, whoa with me about the whole thing. That just turned me off. Tonight we're doing Brad's Bucket, Annie. Thank you very much, Tomcat Josh. I appreciate that. I figured when I started my YouTube channel, I just knew, one, I didn't want to be on camera. That was one of the things I was one of those kids in school that, couldn't be in a play or anything else because I'd get stage fright and I would just freeze up on stage and not be able to act in a play or anything like that. I was never meant for cameras. And the face tells you that. So, I knew when I started my YouTube channel that I wasn't going to be the most personable person. I was like, I just can't. I have a hard time. It took me, what was it? It took me probably, I think, 3 years before I even showed my face on camera, or 2.5 years before I showed my face on camera. And then it was even, like if you watch my old videos, I'm pretty much deadpan, now I will tell you what the ROI is. It was really, really tough for me to, to be comfortable on the camera. So I knew if I was going to have, my shtick or whatever it is going to be, it was going to be that I would stick to a formula. So I couldn't, change who somebody is just because I wanted to. I couldn't hurt a seller because I didn't want to. And I would just try to use secret shoppers or do whatever I can to make it as an honest review as possible. So Clash is the reason I use a kitchen strainer. I do like, some of his things, like I said, there's certain things I like the kitchen strainer. Like most people wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of that. I went and bought a classifier. I was like, I can't do that. But then there's things that's weird. Like if you look, I saw recently he started selling his little like tube bottle with the magnet in it, and he's charging like whatever $15 for it. But you can go buy one of these on Amazon for like $8.99. It's like, why would it's just, I don't understand. I understand like it was inconvenience if you've already got a magnet and you've got a tube from coins. Yeah, like if you've got a kitchen strainer, yeah. But like, why have a kitchen strainer? Like if you look at his kits come with the kitchen strainer. It's like, just tell the people to go to the dollar store and get a $1 kitchen strainer instead of you selling it to them for $5, I tried to pan good. A lot of practice. So I don't know if you see, but there's like this. I don't think that's gold, but it's not moving and I can't really see it because, the pan's too far from me. So I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it in there just in case it is gold, but I don't think it is. But so this is what we got for the night. This was a 1 gram bag. No dollar stores or more. No, yeah. Yeah, like I said, like I said, the only problem I have with Clash in reality is his Paydirt. And if he wasn't selling his Paydirt, then I wouldn't care if he only reviewed bad sellers. But the only reason he reviews bad sellers is because it makes his Paydirt look better. And, but to fund this thing, I do like the street one was good. I mean, he borrowed that idea from somebody else. Somebody else had already done it before, but he made his popular. And there's been a whole bunch of people that have done it since then. But yeah, I would bet money that Clash is probably a nice guy and stuff like that. He's just, he's doing the algorithm just to make money off of YouTube. And, you can't really complain about that. PA Patriot, what's up, brother? My first classifier was a parts washer. That's a good one. Parts washer, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to a hardware store a few times. I don't anymore. After I got divorced, before I got divorced, anytime I had to go to the hardware store, I would look at anything that could possibly be used for a sluice or a strainer or anything else like that. So, well, now they're all called the dollar and up. So they have like a card or something, like a greeting card for $1, and everything else in the store is up. So. But yeah, I used to go to the hardware store and anything I saw I would buy, and I just had buckets and buckets full of stuff. But then when I got divorced, I was like, nope, I'm not hauling all that away. That's yours now. What's up, Crash? How's it going, brother? Showed up right at the end of the show, so we already got all the gold out. Nice little pile. Right. All right, let's move the camera around, make y'all look at my ugly mug. All right, let's shrink down the gold, which is now moved. It always spins and moves to the other side, so I can't see it. So make y'all look at the ugly mug. So, but yeah, I mean, one good thing I will say about all reviewers, no matter who they are, if it's Clash or anyone else that does reviews, is a lot of times they review bad Paydirts. And if they review a bad Paydirt, maybe that's one Paydirt that's not making money that they might close up and leave. Like I would be happy and I would praise Clash for selling, not so great Paydirt if he ran every bad Paydirt out of town. Like if they're all like, we can't compete with Clash, so we've got to start either selling 60% ROI bags of Paydirt or just close up. Because then it'd be worth it. Then it's like, okay, well, if the next worst Paydirt is a 60% ROI, because his Paydirt isn't bad. It's just mid-tier, you know. You know. There's so many worse. But every reviewer that does a bad Paydirt review, and gives a seller a bad, keeps that one person from making money. Because there's a lot of bad sellers out there. And if it keeps them from, selling stuff, then that's awesome. Any dollar that's not going to a bad seller is a good thing. So I bought one. I had a secret shopper buy a bag of Paydirt the other day. And man, just when it arrived, I was just so disappointed. I just can't wait to review it. So, but all right, let me make sure. Oh, I didn't even pop out comments. I'm looking around. I'm clicking all my buttons on my stuff, trying to figure out where my live chat is, and I forgot to pop it out. That's why it wasn't where it's supposed to be. So crazy. Joe Murrow, how's it going? Annie. uh, I was seeing, so there's somebody I guess I don't know if I follow them. I have a bad habit on TikTok and Instagram. Whenever I go on there, something will catch my eye and I just hit follow. And then they might not make, like, it might be somebody that makes content about, like blowing up trees. But then one day they'll make one video that has nothing related to that, and I'll start to see it and I'll follow it. But there was somebody where they make they take rocks and they paint them to look what they could be. Like, it was like there might be a rock that's kind of shaped like a Reese's Pieces cup, and they'll paint it to look like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Like, I saw one where she had one, and it's all food related, and it's all packaged food. Like, there was one where it's kind of like a flattish rock that's broken in half, and she made it look like a Kit Kat wrapper that had been torn in half. And it was such cool stuff. I was like, oh man, I wish I could paint to do stuff like that. I'm actually plan on doing a high ROI video on a Clash Crumbs bag. Still have one I bought for like $110. Now that's not bad. If you bought it for 110, that's a pretty good ROI now. That's the thing with bad Paydirt, so you just have to wait. Like, I have a friend of mine who just loves Felix Paydirt. He just loves Felix Paydirt. We've talked about it for hours and hours and hours, and I cannot figure out why he still loves him. But I know he's still got like 5 or 6 bags that he's been holding on to for years. And Felix Paydirt is known for having a 50% ROI. So I told him he needs to look up to see what he paid for him so he knows what gold spot has to be for him to be 100% ROI. So, yeah, the notices, I don't know how, like, I was getting, like, Yukon Alley. I was getting her notifications for like the first 3 weeks, and then it just stopped. And I would even go, and when I saw her, watched it, I'd go the next day and click her thing again to say, okay, remind me, hoping that the next week I'd get it. And I haven't gotten a notification since. So I never get notifications. I get notifications. Like, I got one the other day, like Clash. I get Clash notifications all the time, but then they're like a week late. I'm like, well, that does me no good. And there was somebody else who did a live show the other day. I get the notification and I opened it. I think it was Troubled One, where I got the notification. I was like, oh, let me go. I was like, I've got nothing to do right now. Let me hop on. So I hopped on, and it was from like 3 days earlier. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the junk, YouTube? Get one thing right. Come on. How rude, blowing up trees. They don't do that. I've never seen a video of that. But it was just, it had nothing to do with it. I have a bad habit of just, seeing something on like TikTok or something, like, oh, I want to watch this later, and I don't have time, so I just hit the follow button, and then I think I'll find it later. Then I go to follow, and I can't find what the video was, and it's like 500 videos of something else. Allie took a break. Well, I did see, I mean, she put out a video like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So it just, no, YouTube just does not on average give out notifications. I don't know why. Like, they keep adding all kinds of stupid stuff like top fans. Nobody cares about the top fans. Make it so you can get your notifications first. Make one thing perfectly right. So I check Yukon out. I do too. I check her site every day for my daily ROI chart. So there's a whole bunch of sellers. Now, anyone that's a Patreon member that sees the daily ROI chart, know that what you're seeing is about a half of it. Underneath the half where I cut it off is a whole bunch of other bags of Paydirt that either don't meet the criteria or don't meet the criteria. So, or they're out of stock. So, like, for example, Brad's Bucket, which I did tonight. If you look at my daily ROI chart, it's got his for his half gram, and it's got his 1.5 gram, but no 1 gram. That 1 gram, as soon as it's sold out, I take it off of there, I put it at the bottom till he gets it back in stock, then it'll go back up. So yeah, there's a whole bunch. I have Clash on my daily ROI chart. He just hasn't met the 70% or 80% ROI minimums. No, but there's a whole bunch on there. I'm debating putting eBay sellers. Now, I know I have some eBay sellers that are in the live show. One of the reasons I haven't put any eBay sellers up on my daily ROI chart is I kind of don't want to send people to eBay just because the vast majority of it is bad. So I might change that and put some eBay sellers up on there. No, I'm kidding. Everyone knows I already have eBay sellers on there. So I have I have Micro 15 on my daily ROI chart and Anderson Coin. They're on my daily ROI, but I don't search eBay. That's the only thing is I won't go through eBay and keep up with it. It's just I know those two companies are good. So if anyone else ever finds out any good sellers on eBay, let me know and I'll add them to my daily. But other than that, I just keep track of all the other sellers that are keeping up and I try to keep track of them. I was seasoning with bags at a local store. I've tried to convince her every which way to sell Paydirt year round or more often, and I can't get her to do it. So, because she doesn't want to have the thing, and I appreciate that for her. She doesn't want to sell a bad product. Like she's told me she doesn't want to like put some on the website for a weekend and say, "Oh, I'll be in town on Monday," and then if she can't go to town Monday because they got to go sluicing, then those people won't be able to have their Paydirt shipped for a month, you know, and she doesn't want that. So. Oh, main cons. Yeah, I've gotten some from there before. That's one of the things is one of the reasons I meant to say it in my Brad's Bucket review, but I started to say it and I stopped and I didn't want to edit the video. But one of the reasons why I talk about description so much on the website on, in reviews is things like where the material comes from. Because when I first started panning, the main reason, back in the day, there was no great bags of Paydirt. They were all pretty much mediocre at best. But I wanted to pan from different areas. I would, why say, oh, I'm only going to pan Colorado Paydirt? No, I'd say, look, dude, this dude's selling, cons from Maine. This person's got stuff from California. This person's got Arizona material. This person's from Australia, things like that. I like to pan out the different areas of material. I like someone to say, hey, I just found some really nasty dirt in, West Virginia. Okay, great. I'll pan that out. So it's one of the things I like. And I think most sellers should really harp up on that is say, hey, look, if you've panned out Arizona Paydirt before, have you ever panned out New Mexico Paydirt before? And, it's a good way to help sell your stuff. So, hey, Beermans, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. But we've got lightning here and a lightning storm, and it usually means my internet's going to go out. So here, we're going to put up the hidden link one last time. Make sure you go, if you haven't already, post your comment on the hidden video. I have 4 envelopes. We're going to give away 2 tonight. I've got enough time if we're quick. 2 of them. Some of them might have a gold-plated diamond. Some might have a little bit of Miller Prospect and gold in them. I don't think anyone's found any of the gold, so there might just be the gold ones left. So, like the new stickers. Yeah, I need to change. I like the... It's funny, when I originally had these made, I had these made a long time ago, the cards, and I kind of sat on them for a while, going back and forth because I kept messing up the design on them. But originally I wanted craft ones. And the next ones I go through, but unfortunately I have a lot of these. The next batch will be on craft cards. I really like craft. It's old school stuff, so. I have lots of garnets and black sand here. And it's like one of my favorite dirts. I will tell everyone one of my favorite dirts I do, and always, if anyone has any, and I actually have some right here. I have some right here. Somebody sent me from Nome, and that's Nome beach sands. I absolutely love Nome's beach. I just love their material. Some of my favorite stuff. That and Australia stuff, which, by the way, I'm going to be doing some Australian Paydirt soon. This year, I'll be doing some Australian Paydirt. So, but yeah, that's one of the key things about Paydirt is everyone wants to get the gold, but they also want that little extra something, like if you had 2 sellers and one's from Arizona with 100% ROI and one's from some weird place, like, oh, this is Caribbean Paydirt with 100% ROI. Most people are going to go to the Caribbean. They're going to say, hey, look, I've tried Arizona before, but I've never tried Caribbean, and they both have the exact same ROI. They're going to go to Caribbean, So it's having a good description is informative. It helps me. And, as a buyer, but then it helps you too, because you're selling your product and you're trying to convince people buy my stuff. So have a good description. But all right. Message retracted. Oh no. Astrip, were you just talking? Oh no. More lightning. Don't know if y'all can hear that or not. Just really hoping to get one of those. You already have a gold-plated dime, don't you? I know you do, because I sent you one of your Patreon envelopes. Unless you're talking about the one with the gold in it. Maybe I'll make some of those up for my $79 tier members. Next time I'm making some cards, maybe I'll do that. Make some for my $79 tier members. Yeah, Thor is mad. Yeah, it's really pouring too. So, all right. So let's end the show. Let's shrink down the ugly mug. Get rid of the pan and can. Bye bye, beautiful gold. You know. And we're gonna shrink down the ugly mug. Oh, we don't want that. Don't want you to see my. There we go. Let's shrink down the ugly mug. Pull the hidden video. Here we go. We got 4 envelopes tonight. What numbers do we have? We have number 2, number 6, number 9, and number 10. No, that sounds like a winning numbers right there. But all right, there we go. Best website on the internet. Top 10 recommended sellers. Now, I have not put Brad's Bucket on there. Like I said earlier in the show, I have not put Brad's Bucket on here yet. They will be on there within the next couple of days. I need to figure out how to get them on there. I like every one of the sellers that's currently on the list, so I really need to go through them and see if there's a reason to remove them or to make this a top 12 or a top 15. I don't know. Because I was looking at my list the other day, and there's some other sellers that I really like that aren't on this list, so I don't know what to do. But we're going to go through it and figure it out. All right. Random YouTube comment. Oh, I don't even know what the hidden video is. Hold on. We're going to have to go over here and get this. There we go. Bam. You didn't see that. You did not see the background. No, you didn't see that. All right. There we go. Hidden comment. Let's fetch this. Oh, I wonder if everyone... I didn't even check to see if everyone's went through. Let's see. Yeah, everyone's comments went through. There we go. 48 comments. Let's pick a winner. We're going to pick 2 winners. Now, as always, YouTube and its affiliates have nothing to do with this giveaway. This is 100% by me, just to give to people for putting up with my ugly mug. But if you win, you must email me at Dylan@MillerProspecting, and you must also post something in the live chat before the end of the show, which is in, like 7 minutes. So, all right, everyone's got that. That Miller Prospecting guy has decent paydirt. I don't know. I've never panned any out. First time ever in life I wanted to chuck a pan was Nome Beach Sands. I love Nome Beach Sands, but I don't love doing it on live shows. So I will tell you that, or not live shows or in reviews. It's personal stuff I can set aside, come back a month later and pan out. But all right, let's pick a winner. This is winner number 1. Bierman. Congratulations to Bierman. So Bierman's number 1, and then envelope number 2. So Bierman gets the first pick. So whoever I pull name second, don't pick your number until you see Bierman's has already posted his number. And again, the numbers Bierman are 2, 6, 9, and 10. So, and now the second winner is going to be Dorothy Richardson. So Dorothy, congratulations. You're the winner number 2. Now you both must post something on the live chat. And you also, because of you, everyone's going to have to look at the ugly mug. And make sure, Brad's Bucket, new review up. Go look at it, watch it, see what I think about his paydirt. I got some comments about his paydirt, so make sure you go watch the video. Views on videos, likes on videos is just as good as you watching the live shows, and it helps the algorithm so I can make more reviews. So, all right. Full size, ugly mug. Let me catch up on chat, see what numbers they guess so I can mark it on the envelope. All right. Did a video of the Mighty Mini? Did you? All right, here, let me write that down. I have to go look at that. Yeah, Mighty Mini is probably my favorite paydirt I make. The Mighty Mini is my favorite. Unfortunately, it's an expensive one because Mighty Mini just doesn't work if you only use a gram of gold. You have to have like 2.5, 3 grams. And with gold going up all the time, it gets more and more expensive. But it's my favorite one to make. I always try and make sure it's always 100% ROI paydirt. So I can only make it if I get gold at a good price, so I can make a few bucks. But yeah, it's my favorite to make. Number 6. All right, so Bierman's has number 6. And then Dorothy can have number, what is it, 2, 9, or 10? Or wait, yeah. Oh, I picked up the wrong envelope. Number 6, Bierman's. All right. And I have chat paused right now, unfortunately. Why is it paused? Here we go. All right, so Dorothy, you just need to know, do you want number 2, number 9, or number 10? Number 9, there you go. All right. So 6 and 9, okay. So I will get those out to you tomorrow if y'all both email me your address. Dorothy, Dylan at Miller Prospecting, and a pain in the ass. Yeah, it is a tougher bag, but you know, I will say I did make this one a little bit harder than I usually do. So the way I used to do it was I would put like, and a lot of times, well, most of the times I make my Paydirt is, so like if I was making a 1 gram bag of Paydirt, I will try to make like 0.9 of it easy gold to get out, you know, from plus 40 and up. And then like the extra bit, I'll put like 0.2 into it of minus 40. That way I figure you only have to find half of it to get the 1 gram, you're guaranteed. And if you find the little extra, it's lagniappe. But with the Mighty Mini, you know, just because of the way I had my gold, I had to put a half a gram of that 3 grams was flour gold and fine gold. And if anyone wants to know, I get any of my flour gold, except for what I find in reviews, I buy flour gold from Nome. I get flour gold from Nome. A good friend of mine, mine's in Nome, so I get him to send me gold. I buy gold from him every once in a while. So it's really fine gold. You know, a lot of sellers, like you'll get a Paydirt bag and it'll get minus 40 gold, but it's minus 40. It's exactly minus 40. This Nome stuff tends to be minus 50, minus 100. So it's a lot harder to pan. You know, but here I need to write another note. That's always have to bring a pen because I was always. You know. I don't like flour gold and black sand Paydirt. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame people. I will tell you, I don't like doing it in reviews. Like, you know, that's why you almost never see me do reviews on impossible bags and stuff like that. I only do like one, maybe a year. And there's a lot of impossible bags out there. It just, they take forever. And I don't mind doing it. Like if it's my own personal time, I enjoy them because I like doing them. I will pan out 1 tablespoon, put the pan aside and come back to it a week later, 2 weeks later. But for review, I've got to do it all in one day. And that can be. All right, Brian, thanks a lot for joining the show. I appreciate it. Brad, reach out to me. I don't mind telling you. So, flour gold fills the gaps between bigger. Yeah. See, I keep all mine. And how's it going, Justin? Did they stop blocking you today? Did the VPN work? But yeah, I keep mine in each one of my separate vials when I get it in because I separate it for the reviews. So when I separate gold for the reviews, I just put it in the different little vials just for that. So I don't have, unfortunately, I never have a huge vial because like what I do is I start. Let me show y'all. So every single for a month, what I do is any reviews I do, I put all the gold in this. This is I think this will hold 5 ounces of gold, but you can see it doesn't really have that much in it. This is what I've gotten so far this month. This is all I've reviewed out this month, and that includes Tuesdays and everything else like that, except for this Brad's bucket. But I put it all in there. Then at the end of the month, I take it out and I have one of these with the 4 vials, and I separate it by each one. So I classify it down, put it in these, and that way when I'm making Paydirt, I know, every bag's going to get a little bit of plus 10, a little bit of minus 10, a little bit of minus 40. So in this way, by doing this, I know what to buy too. So like if I do a whole bunch of reviews and it's all super fine gold, then I might reach out to Mike at Gold Nugget Sales and, buy 5 grams of his, plaster gold that he sells in the little vials. It's a little bit bigger so I can, fill my vials, which I don't like doing because then I'm paying over a spot, and I try to buy gold and conserve it as much as possible. So, but But I think I'm going to get out of here. Now, I will have a review up Saturday. I will have a video up. I don't know if it's a review or not. I don't remember my schedule, but I do have a video coming out Saturday. So this whole month, I'm going to have a video every Saturday. Next month, I think I have a video every Saturday as well. Then I go back to my normal schedule. I have some breaks until December. Then December, I have a video every single week as well. But this month, video every Saturday. So I do have a video coming out Saturday. And I think I actually have a video coming out Friday. I think I have a video coming out Friday and Saturday. Then next Tuesday, I have no idea what we're panning out next Tuesday, but we're panning out something next Tuesday. Will be an easier bag. It might be a bigger bag. Maybe we'll do the Josh Ortiz bag. I don't remember what we're doing next Tuesday, but next Tuesday we're going to be panning out something. It's because it's not end of the month. So yeah, we're panning out something next Tuesday. It'll be a longer show. We'll give out the last 2 envelopes. But then Friday and Saturday, I have videos coming out. They might be premieres if I can edit them and get them done in time. I've been really sucking at getting editing done. You know. You're doing your shows at a horrible time now. I know. So, well, we might switch. So I might have to do a poll on Patreon because just the way I always did my shows before was I had to do them on, I started on Saturdays at 7 p.m., and then I had to switch it because we changed my custody with my son. We changed our hours with my daughter. And I had to switch them to Tuesdays because Tuesdays was the one day I didn't have kids. And I didn't want to have a shorter show someday, longer show. I didn't want them waiting to eat and stuff like that. So I switched it to Tuesdays, and then I had to switch it to 6 because my designated time to call my kids was at 8:30. If I started my show at 7, then I was, only had an hour and a half to do a show, and it had to be done, But now I still have the 8:30 designated time, but now I have my kids for a solid week. Then I don't have them for a week. So I can switch back to any day now. I can switch back to Saturdays if I wanted to. And if I switch, I can pretty much now change the time because it's only every other week that I have to have a shorter show. So this time slot is awesome. I know most people like this time slot because a lot of my viewers are overseas. And if I went back to an older time, so I probably will keep this 6 o'clock time. But probably what I'll do is I'll start advertising that, this week will be like 6 o'clock to 7:30. And then the next week's show will be from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock. So it'll be a 3-hour show next week. It probably won't be this Tuesday, but I plan on in the future doing it something like that so I can have smaller bags on the short shows and really big bags on the big shows, like 5-pound bags, 3-pound bags. Yeah, I don't sell Paydirt. It's the only way you can buy Paydirt from me, Brian, is on my Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, I sell Paydirt every once in a while, and I'm not gonna be selling any more Paydirt this year probably. But actually, if you want, Brian, just pay attention. You come here every Tuesday. I will be announcing. I think September 2nd. I'm 90% sure I'm going to be selling some stuff on Whatnot on September 2nd. That'll be the only one-time show deal on Whatnot. And I will be selling some Paydirt on that show on Whatnot. They'll all be like 1/4-gram bags of Paydirt, really small bags of Paydirt, cheap stuff. I'm just trying to unload. I got the pickers and stuff I need to unload. And I figured, send them to Whatnot. So. If you need one from me, email me, Bierman. I'm really low on stickers, but I think I might have a couple. I'll send you if you want them. So if you need one. No. Hey, Wrench. See, Wrench. Oh, you're here, Wrench. Look. See what I did for your Paydirt? Oh my gosh, and I just broke something. I'm gluing that back together later. But Wrench, since your Paydirt came busted, I found an old oil glass bottle. So, what's it called? Master Manufacturing Company. Old, bottle for oil and stuff like that. And I put your Paydirt in that. So that's where your sticker's going to go. The sticker's going to go on there once it comes in. If I don't break everything on my shelf, taking this down. But there you go. That's my Wrench's Paydirt. You'll know it's Wrench's once the stuff shows up. Thank you very much, brother. Way too kind. September 2nd. Yeah, so it's going to be after, so that's going to be my Patreon show, September 2nd. I think it's Tuesday. Then after the Patreon show, I'm going to go do Whatnot for like an hour. So So yeah, I've been looking, brother, ever since I told you, that the bag busted. I've been looking on eBay. I was like, oh, and I actually, I hate to say this, I probably spent more money on buying stuff for your Paydirt than actually Paydirt. Bought an oil can, and when it arrived, it was supposed to be a sealed oil can that just had a hole punched in it, but it was so rusty and nasty, I couldn't get the oil residue out of it. I was like, I'm not putting dirt in that. And then I ordered something else. It was an old can that I could stick your thing on. But it was just too rusty and too small because you have too much dirt. So that one was perfect. It fit exactly all of your dirt in it. So can we pan your floor? You don't want to pan. There's probably not that much gold. I'm pretty good. If I spill gold, 99.9% of the time, it's on my table. It's on my overhead table, and I dust that off and collect it. I got $10 to spend. Well, there you go, brother. So that's why I did the assortment. If you're a Patreon member and you see the gold guessing this month was a bouquet of small nuggets and pickers. The reason I did those was because those are all going to be for sale on Whatnot, along with a couple others that I have. Just because I've been collecting a couple little pieces and they're not big enough for me to put in my kids' collection. And I didn't want to sell them, and they're too big to put in Paydirts because, if you get a half-gram nugget, you can't really put it in a half-gram bag of Paydirt, they get nothing. So I figured, why not sell them on Whatnot, have a one-time deal on Whatnot, get rid of them, just fun. So I don't know. HD's maybe mad at me though because I'm too good looking. I don't know. He's probably busy at work and he forgets. That's what happens if HD's not here 90% of the time. It's because something happened at work and he got busy, and just by the time he remembers, it'll be like 4 a.m, and then tomorrow morning he'll text me and say, dude, totally forgot about the show. But all right, I'm going to get out of here. Remember, Friday and Saturday, I believe I have videos coming out both those days. Friday and Saturday, I should have videos out. And then next Tuesday, we're going to pan something out. It'll be a much longer show. That's it. You sell the old carpet. So, but I'm out of here. Thanks everyone for joining the show. I really do appreciate it. Next week, again, will be a longer show. This week is slower. And I will start making some type of announcement somehow to tell you what time the shows are going to be running from, just so people can plan. Like if they know it's going to be a 3-hour show and, you want to visit for the last hour, you can, because I'll be here. So, but all right, everybody, thanks for joining the show. I really do appreciate it. And thank you everyone for tipping tonight. I really do appreciate it. Made it a great show number 200, because next week's just going to be a lame 201. So, all right, everyone, thanks a lot. Find that gold. Make sure also, if you're a Patreon member, you check out the daily ROI charts. Maybe find something good one of these days. So I'm out of here. Thanks.